Pat Robertson continues to surprise us because on one hand, he seems to be a bigot. On another hand, he says things that are totally reasonable. In fact, recently he got a question from one of his listeners and he had a totally reasonable answer to it. Let's take a look.
This is David, who says, I work with two people who have decided that they are females. I know what the Bible says about homosexuality, but is it wrong to refer to them as females since they've had their gender status changed in the eyes of the law?
I think there are men who are in a woman's body. It's very rare, but it's true, or women that are in men's bodies. I don't think there's any sin associated with that. I don't condemn somebody for doing that. But somebody who just says, well, I'm really a woman, I question the validity of that statement. It's not for you to decide or to judge. All right.
So unfortunately, we had to edit that video because it was long. We shortened it. But he goes into, the severity of that condition where you feel like you're a man trapped in a woman's body or vice versa, and you undergo these very invasive surgeries just to change your sex. And he says, look, that's a serious thing. And if they're willing to go that far, I don't see that as a sin. And I did not expect him to come at it from that perspective.
Especially given that he very recently had a segment on his show where he talked about how God had vomited out gays and that he would do so again. I mean, it was the harshest language you could imagine. He appears to be on the verge of senility, at least in other segments, to think, well, transgender people, they're totally fine, but gay people, well, God will vomit them out. Look, I agree, transgender people are great, and I'm glad he has this, opinion on them, but then to turn around and to spew the hate that he does against gay people, it's bizarre.
It's very bizarre. But I mean, he hasn't really been consistent on anything. I mean, on one hand, he talks about how people should be able to beat their wives. On another hand, he talks about how everyone should be able to smoke the doobie. He just he can't really make up his mind. Does he have a liberal position on things? Does he have a very conservative position on things? And I think it all really depends on what he likes to do in his personal life or certain experiences that he's had in the past.
Yeah, he probably knew someone who was transgender. So he thinks I mean, I like Bob, or now Bobby, and I know that they're a decent person, so it's okay. I don't know any gay people. I want to vomit them out, right? Anyway, on the transgender thing, I like, too, that the Bible, it's whatever Pat Robertson wants it to be.
Yeah, but that's true of most religious people. They get to pick and choose what they like and dislike in their religion. So, you bring up the shellfish thing all the time. Why is it that, Christians haven't banned shellfish? There should be an anti-shellfish lobby if you truly believe in the literal interpretation of the Bible.
And so if you're just making it up and picking and choosing, so Pat today decided, it's okay. Transgender people, you're free to go.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, pat on the back.